If the thought of a gourmet dessert on carnivore seems impossible to you, think again. I've created an effortless, decadent, and custardy creme brulee recipe that will satisfy the most stodgy restaurateur's sweet tooth. And do you want to know the best part? It's entirely carnivore friendly and a showstopper for any party. I'll show you just how easy it is to create this splendid carnivore treat with only 2 ingredients. If you are here on my channel, maybe you're a little bit newer to this lifestyle and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but at the same time very excited to give this carnivore lifestyle a go, I've got you all covered to make sure that carnivore is as effortless as humanly possible. I've put a lot of thought, creativity, and experience into the program that I've built in my community, the Steak and Butter Gang. You will be able to access over 40 hours of course content created by myself and Dr. Sean Baker. You'll also have weekly live calls to hop on anytime for group coaching, ask your questions, and to also be able to speak to carnivore doctors and experts live. And of course, you have access to weekly meal plans, PDFs, and guides. I welcome you all to join us anytime at sbgmeetup.com as shown on the screen, or by clicking the link down below in the description box. I can't wait to meet you guys in the Steak and Butter Gang. So let's first go through the ingredients and necessary items needed. We will be needing some whole milk. We're also going to need some eggs. We will also need a large measuring cup, and it's best if it can fit up to 4 cups or 1,000 milliliters worth of liquid. And the last item we'll need to make it perfect is a strainer. First step is to heat our milk. Since we are using 5 eggs, we will need exactly 2 cups of milk. So go ahead and heat it up to a light boil. While the milk heats up, we're going to need to use a large pot and get about 2 to 3 inches of water to a rolling boil like I'm showing here. The thing that I'm picking up just now is like a little pedestal so that when we put in our pudding bowl, we will be able to easily put it in without burning our hands. We will also need a lid that fits snug over the pot. So go ahead, get 2 to 3 inches of plain water to a boil. While we wait for our milk to boil and our pot of water to boil, we're going to now prepare our pudding mix. Crack in our 5 eggs into our measuring cup. And I'm using 5 intentionally because it lines up perfectly to my 300 milliliter line on the measuring cup. And so if you want to just copy me, even though chicken eggs are going to be different in size depending on where you buy it from, typically 5 eggs are going to be around the same, which is 300 milliliters. And here I flipped the measuring cup around to show you where that lies in cups. And so it shows as 1.25 cups. So 300 milliliters equals 1.25 cups. And you get that with 5 whole chicken eggs. You might be wondering by now, why is it so important to be this accurate and meticulous with this recipe? Trust me, I've been studying the art of egg pudding for 6 years now and trying to perfect it and make it as silken, smooth as possible. And this updated recipe is going to deliver just that. I have learned from the greats, which is my own mom and my mother-in-law, and I have combined their best techniques and secrets to make the most perfect recipe in the world. So this is why it's very important to know exactly how much space your eggs alone take up in your measuring cup first. So if you copy me and you do 5 eggs and it lies on the 300 line, we're going to take a calculator to make our lives easy and put the number in, multiply it by 1.5, and that's going to tell us right there the exact amount of milk that we will need to add to our eggs. So as you can see, we will need 450 milliliters of milk. 400 milliliters of milk is 2 cups of milk, which is why initially at the start of the video, I told you all to go heat up 2 cups of milk. So first step, we're going to need to mix up our raw eggs as best as possible. I'm using chopsticks here because it's just tradition in my family to use chopsticks to mix it up, but you can use any utensil, whisk, spoon, fork, anything that'll get your eggs to be beat up as smoothly and evenly as possible. And now we're going to use our strainer and put that on top of the measuring cup so that we can strain out just the liquid of our fatty whole milk. And make sure that the whole milk has reached a light boil and is hot. We don't want to use cold milk because this is going to prevent it from cooking perfectly and evenly. So again, we want to use hot milk and just add in the full 2 cups of the hot milk. And if you don't measure in cups, 2 cups equals 450 milliliters, so add in that amount of hot milk. I forgot to film this part, but just mix it one more time again so that the milk and the raw egg mixes together nice and evenly. And now we're going to transfer everything into the bowl that we'd like to present the dessert in. So here I'm just using a big black bowl. Just use whatever bowl that you have on hand. It really doesn't matter. And we're going to use the strainer again so that the egg mix falls through the strainer to pick up any air bubbles and residuals of the egg whites so that we really leave the silkiest, most liquid part of the egg and milk mixture. As you can see here, I am also taking a spoon to take it one notch further so that we have minimal air bubbles during the process by scooping out the surface of the mix and taking out the air bubbles at the very top. Now this step is absolutely optional. If you don't want to use saran wrap to protect the egg pudding during the steaming process, you don't have to use it. But just be aware that some of the hot water droplets from the steaming process may slowly drip and fall into your egg pudding. So it might not be as flawless as it could be if you just use this saran wrap trick. So here I'm just doing it because I really want to show you just how perfect it can be. I wrap it with saran wrap nice and tight. I use a little toothpick to make some holes evenly throughout the bowl of saran wrap. By now our pot of water should be to a nice rolling boil. So we're going to now turn the heat down to low medium. Carefully place our pudding bowl on top of the rack and in our pot. Try not to burn yourself, maybe wear some gloves. Then you're going to seal that lid over the pot completely shut. Okay, there should be no cracks, no spaces. Don't tilt the lid, completely shut. And we're going to turn down the heat again, if you did not already, to low medium. Here I'm showing medium, but quickly after I actually adjusted it to low medium. Now let's all set our timers for 15 minutes. We're going to be cooking this bowl for exactly 15 minutes. And here I'm just showing you an alternate option of cooking it in 2 smaller ramekins. So using the exact same measurements, 5 eggs, 2 cups of milk, if you split it into 2 smaller ramekins like this, then you will be cooking it for 10 minutes total. So set your timer for 10 minutes if you're doing this option. Before I show you the results, I just wanted to remind everyone watching this video that thriving on a carnivore lifestyle means more than just eating meat. It means that you prioritize your health above all else. And that applies as much to your supplies as it does to your food. Especially for all of you busy carnivore mamas and papas out there, Thrive Market is here to make your life easier. Whether you're refreshing your pantry or stocking up on essentials, Thrive Market has you covered with their app's keto filter, highlighting all the keto and carnivore friendly goodies that you may need. So I just wanted to take a minute and show off this month's Thrive Market box that I personally ordered. I love them so much because of the convenience. This right here, I love because it is eco-friendly. It's just the refills of my favorite cleaning solution. You just empty this in whatever bottle that you use, specifically a spray bottle. You add water, dilute it, and it lasts you months. You can clean all surface tops, tables, any dog dirt around the house. It is an excellent non-toxic product. Here's another product I get every single month. It is actually from Thrive Market's very own brand, Rosie. Non-toxic, of course, very good for sensitive carnivores. This is their laundry detergent powder. I love the powder as opposed to their liquid detergent just because it is much more cost effective. I also love their dishwasher detergent. Great scent, does the job, takes off all of the grease from our carnivore dishes. I also absolutely love their Rosie line hand soap. It just gets the job done. What's fantastic about Thrive Market is that they guarantee the lowest price on any of the items you want to buy. So if you spot a better deal anywhere else, they will just price match it for you. You can enjoy free shipping on orders over $49, and you all can get 30% off your first order, along with a free gift valued up to $60. Just go to the URL shown on the screen, thrivemarket.com/steakandbuttergal. If you guys want a clickable link, I've also linked them down below. Here's fast forward after the 15 minutes. I am opening up the lid because we are done with the steaming process. I didn't show myself taking it out because it was so hot and I didn't want to drop the bowl. So really be careful here because the bowl is going to be very hot. Transfer it to a countertop and you can go ahead and remove the saran wrap. Now here I'm showing myself drizzling on some raw honey mixed with cinnamon. This is for my husband. I personally like it with melted butter. Unsalted butter to me now tastes sweet. So that is plenty sweet and dessert-like enough for me to enjoy this egg pudding as a dessert. But if you need more sweetness and you're okay with raw honey or whatever sweeteners that you might enjoy, go ahead, add it onto your egg pudding. I want you to enjoy this dish as best as possible in a way where you will love it and where you can customize it. Now, this part where I'm using a knife to slice it into grid-like patterns is just something that my mom has always done ever since I can remember. And it's just, I guess, a tradition in our family to make it into cute little squares. But when you take a scoop out and the squares pop out almost like a little puzzle piece, it's so cool. It's so jiggly. It's so silky smooth. Just look at each of those cubes. Typically, if you don't do it in the best technique and fashion possible, you will have lots of air bubbles. But on this one, there's barely any. And I promise you, if you follow this recipe to a T, every single time it's going to be perfect because I combined only the best techniques from my mama and my mother-in-law. And here I just wanted to show you that there is a savory version available, and you basically just take the exact recipe that I taught you here today and swap the milk for chicken broth, bone broth, any broth that you love. This actually makes the most delicious savory version of the pudding. Same exact texture, same exact glossy feel, and you could top it off with some fish sauce, which is 100% carnivore for that umami flavor, and you can feel free to garnish it with some chopped scallions. This is actually my mom teaching me how to make it her way. The most perfect savory version, this is the one that I actually grew up eating, is this chicken bone broth savory pudding. And it is seriously so comforting, so perfect for toddlers, elderly, when recovering from being sick, recovering from any dental work. This is just heavenly. And one more time, back to the dessert version, I actually ended up making this perfect silky pudding like 10 times after I finally mastered it. I was so excited. So I tried out different sweet drizzles for my husband, and this one was a huge hit with him, which is the browned butter mixed with raw honey. You can either just do plain raw honey that comes to room temperature, so it's a bit melted, and just drizzle that on top. You can add vanilla, you can add cinnamon like I did earlier, but the best one is if you first brown some butter so it turns out nice and browned and toasty and caramelized, and then you mix this with some raw honey. That is the ultimate decadent caramelly drizzle for your dessert pudding, and I think this is the perfect match here. Hello, welcome to Bella's Cafe. You do not need to order because I just made you a dish. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's amazing. And from what it looks like, it's a dessert for once.
Yes.
Wow.
Can you guess what it is?
It's like a flan creme brulee type thing, like a pudding type thing.
Smell it.
Right?
What do you think it's made of?
Well, this smells like maple syrup.
Oh, that's really interesting. Do you smell any like caramel notes?
It just smells like maple syrup.
That's awesome. So I actually browned butter and then I added raw honey.
Okay, that's smart.
So mine is the savory version. His is the dessert version.
Oh,
and I just, before we eat, whoa.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Nope. Before we eat this beautiful dish, I want to just give thanks to our mothers because this is actually a traditional Chinese dish.
Yeah,
and your mom makes it all the time for me.
Who do you think makes it better, my mom or your mom?
Sorry, but my mom.
What?
Definitely my mom.
Nah.
My mom actually raised me on this ever since I can remember.
Okay, but now that my mom is your mom, technically my mom makes it better.
My biological mom makes it in a way where like when I eat her egg pudding or steamed egg, I just get taken back to my childhood.
Yeah, it's definitely a comfort food. I think every culture has a comfort food.
100%.
You know, I think unfortunately in American culture, a lot of the comfort foods are maybe a little bit less carnivore friendly, but this just looks amazing.
This is literally perfect for us carnivores. Okay.
I'm ready to dig in.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
All right. Oh my God. That is so good. I'm telling you, I studied the art of this dish my entire carnivore journey. So 6 years of perfecting this craft. I have taken multiple lessons from my mom on how to make it perfectly. I can confidently say today, 6 years into my carnivore journey,
that's good.
I have perfected finally that silky texture.
I think you make it better than either of our moms, to be honest with you.
That is such a compliment.
I love the texture. Holy smokes.
Thank you.
This is sweet and delicious. The texture is unlike the egg pudding that either of our moms make, so I'm wondering how you achieve that, because it's very firm,
yes,
but it's silky as hell.
It's silky.
Very smoky. I guess the sugar's getting to my head already.
Oh,
this is delicious.
Desserts are often very, very much like appreciated by the carnivore community, because come on, if you're only eating animal foods and meat, you're mostly eating those savory flavors day in, day out. My $1 million question for this dish, babe, is does it taste eggy? Because that's what people are always concerned about.
First of all, what's the problem with something tasting eggy?
Because
why is that even a complaint?
I know, but because people actually get the egg ick. Like, that's actually a thing. So if it tastes too eggy, they're like, well, this doesn't taste like a dessert anymore.
Okay, I mean, I would argue that most desserts taste eggy, seeing as egg is a primary constituent in most popular desserts.
Yeah, but
anyway.
You don't taste the egg flavors.
I mean, yeah, because you're overloading it with sugar. I mean, look, I can taste egg, but if you put a blindfold on me and put this in my mouth, just off the texture alone, I wouldn't believe that you made it with eggs.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
So that, plus you can always lay on the honey a little thicker.
That's right.
For me personally, this is more than sweet enough. I don't think you even added too much honey on this.
Yeah.
But if you really laid it on thick with the brown butter, you really just taste the smokiness of the brown butter and the sauce, right? So I guess it's just how much sauce you want to add.
Exactly.
Personally, I don't have an issue with something tasting eggy.
Yeah.
I only have an issue when it's not delicious food, and this is delicious food. So thank you so much for cooking this.
You're so welcome.
This pudding is kind of chilly, which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's how this dish was meant to be eaten. But I think for yours, you could also eat it hot, right? So what is your preference? Mine is cool.
That is such a good question, and actually one of my most popular egg pudding questions. Can I enjoy it cold, hot, warm? How does one reheat even? The beauty of this amazing dish is that it is so simple yet so versatile. You can chill it overnight and enjoy it as a refreshing cold dessert like he is literally inhaling right now. Or you can enjoy it as a hot, warming comfort food with bone broth or with butter on top, or drizzle some bacon pieces. Right now it's winter in Seattle. This is mine. Right now it's winter in Seattle. Something hot and warming like this as a hot dish is so perfect. You guys have no idea. Like, I know that I'm rave reviewing this dish so hard right now, but there's so many reasons why. Because I get so many DMs and emails every single day saying, look, I tried your egg pudding dish. It is now a household favorite because my babies love it. My toddlers love it. My grandma, my grandparents even love it. Especially carnivores who get like dental work done. They can only eat this to survive.
Yeah, this is pretty much your eponymous dish. I think this is something that you've been known for
since day one. Since day one, yeah.
For good reason, because it's perfect.
It's amazing. If any of you guys try any of my recipes that I share, do tag me if you post it on any social platforms, and I would love to repost and see how you guys made it.